Hi, and welcome to another video by Get It Done Home Repairs. Today's project, as you can see right by the garage door here, that the slab of concrete has cracked, and what happened is the center where it's cracked is pushing up and the ends of the door don't close properly. Now you can see there's multiple cracks in this pad here. It looks like somebody at one time tried to do some repairs on this, but it didn't take care of the problem. It just covered it up a little bit temporarily. You can see how that's raised up there. Somebody put concrete in there or something for temporary fixing it. But today we're going to come in here, we're going to break up this concrete pad, we're going to take it out, and then we're going to lay down a new concrete pad. We're going to put in rebar into it so that we can connect into the existing concrete pad in the garage, and we'll put rebar out to the blacktop, and then we're going to put wire in the cement. Now the pad that's down here now should have wire in it, but judging by the way it's cracked and pushed up, I'm not sure what we're going to find until we actually open it up and see. As you can see here by the crack, it's nice and tight, but on the ends you can see how much space is underneath there. And one thing you don't want to do is you don't want to have a space underneath there, because all the leaves as well as the little critters and insects will get in there. So that's what we're going to do. We're going to break it up, and we're going to get this done, and we'll pour down a new slab and get it done. So let's grab our tools and let's get started. Okay, so next we're going to take our saw and we're going to cut along the concrete where the concrete is touching into the blacktop, because you don't want to damage the blacktop and destroy that. So we cut it along with the saw right where the concrete touches the blacktop, so we can get in there then with the jackhammer, break it up, and we can take out that concrete pad without damaging the blacktop. We're actually being very careful here so we don't damage the concrete pad inside or on the blacktop on the outside. Now if you look here really carefully, you'll see that concrete is coming out fairly easy. To me, it tells me that there's probably no wire in that cement. There is supposed to be wire in there to keep this from cracking just the way that this one did. All right, so let's break it out. We'll take it out and I'll show you what it looks like once we get further along. All right, so we have our right side pretty much done. We still have a little bit more to do right there, but we're going to move our attention over now to the left side. We're going to break up that concrete there as well. And as you can see, it comes up pretty much in big chunks. If there was wire inside there, we wouldn't be able to pull it out. We'd have to cut the wire out at the same time. But as you can see right here, there is no wire in there. By adding the wire to it, it gives it a little more strength. Concrete over a period of time will crack, and if it cracks, the wire will keep it from separating from the other pieces that it's attached to. So wire is very important. All right, so now that we have everything out of there, we're going to clean it up. We're going to flatten it down a little bit so we have a nice smooth area to go in and put our wire in it, and then to drill into the existing slab and put in some rebar. All right, so now we have everything just about out. We're going to smooth that down and take out all the debris that's in there, and of course we're going to get rid of it. We don't need it. After we have all the little pieces out, we're going to come in here with a little tamper, and we're going to tamp down the dirt below, so that way we have a nice firm area for the new cement to be put on top of the new concrete. All right, and here's the rebar we're going to be using. We're going to drill into the existing slab in the garage. We're going to put that rebar in there. We're going to cut off the excess, and then we'll put the wire over the top of that. All right, so let's finish drilling into the slab, and once we do, we'll come back. Now here you can see we're chipping off any of the, there's like a poured epoxy finish on that garage, so we needed to remove that before we pour the new concrete in. Okay, so what we're going to do here is we actually elected to drill into the existing slab in the garage and put in some rebar inside here, all the way down on both of the slabs. So that way one will be joined to the other and we'll have no movement in the cement. All right, we still have to put one more in over here, and that'll be it. As you can see right here, we chipped away all of that resin from when they poured this inside the garage here, so that way it has a nice surface to touch up against. All right, we're going to put that last bar in over there, and then we're going to continue. Tell you one thing, this comes in extremely handy when you're trying to break up the concrete. You can rent these in your big box store. You don't have to go and buy it. You could rent it for the day. And the same thing with this saw over here to cut through the concrete where the cement touches into the to the blacktop. It makes it for a nice straight, clean cut. And of course, you're going to need a blower to blow out all of the residue when we're working. All right, let's continue. And here is the concrete that we actually bought for that. This is a 4,000 PSI concrete, which is what's called for the garage pad leading into the house itself. All right, next we're going to take our wire and we're going to lay down the wire above the rebar that we put in. Is laying on the rebar because this way the cement can get below the wire that we're putting in and around the rebar and then down onto the top of the dirt that we use the tamper to flatten down. All right, so we'll lay that wire in there. Let's mix up our concrete and we'll start to put it in. And we're just going to push it down in there. We're going to take our trowel and we're going to get in there with the trowel to make sure we have no air pockets in there whatsoever. We're going to work the cement in so that it fills in all of the gaps. I will tell you this, on a day like today, it probably is going to take a little bit of time to cure because it is a cool, damp day. It's really not a hot day. So we're going to lay all of our cement in. We're going to come in with our float and we're going to start to smooth it down. This is not the finished product now. We're just getting it in there so that way the cement can get down through the wire and fill in all of those little tiny spots. We take our trowel and we push up and down with the point of the trowel in the cement so that we work out all of the air that's in there. Now here we're just taking our edger and we're going to run it along the edge just to separate the blacktop from the new concrete that we're installing. And as I said, we're going to just smooth it out temporarily right now. This is not the finished product. We take our trowel and we just push it down so that we get all of the air out of the concrete so that way it doesn't settle down later on. And we're just going to work it back and forth so everything is filled in 100%. Now there's different kind of trowels that you can use too. This one is actually called it's called a cheater trowel because the ends of it, if you see the ends are rounded off. It's a lot easier to work with a trowel that's rounded on the ends than one that's squared on the ends. This is easier to work with. So we're going to match it up to the existing cement that's in the garage, the cement with the epoxy. We're still going to leave a slight lip there because we want to make sure our garage door touches down and seals 100% when it closes down. All right, we're just going to again throw the concrete in with the shovel, push it in there, and make sure we have all of the air out. We're going to continue down the line, and we're going to do that throughout the whole thing. Again, we're going to run this along the edge so that we separate the blacktop from the new concrete that we're putting down. All right, so now we have the concrete down. We did our float on it to make sure that everything is fairly straight. We did bring the garage door down to touch into the new concrete that we did on the one side of the garage to make sure that it's going to be a nice tight fit, which it is. All right, so we're going to now continue down the line right here. We're going to put the rest of the cement in. Remember what I said with the trowel, we'll push the cement down so it goes underneath all of that rebar, and it actually it makes it much, much stronger. All right, let's put the rest of the concrete in there. Now this is not the finished product. We're now playing the waiting game. We're waiting for the concrete to dry sufficiently so we can come along with our broom finish and do a broom finish on top of it. But this is it's going to take a little bit for the water to actually travel through the concrete. So now it's just a waiting game. We have it smoothed out the best we need to. We're going to close the other garage door down to make sure it's a nice tight fit on the other garage door. We brought it down, touched into it, and it looks like it's got to be smoothed out just a little bit more. So that's what we're going to do. We're going to come in with our trowel now, and we're going to smooth it down just a little bit more, so that way it's perfect. We then grab our broom after it dries sufficiently, and we do what's called a broom finish on it. You come across with a broom, and you put the lines in the concrete after it's dried sufficiently, which is the key. You have to make sure that it's dried sufficiently, otherwise you're going to wind up with it's not going to do anything. And this is the broom that we're using to create these lines in there. So now this is what it looks like after the concrete has started to dry. As you can see, it doesn't look, it's multiple colors right now, and as you know, concrete takes a long time to cure. Concrete to dry thoroughly, 100%, I believe it takes 28 days to dry. You can usually drive over it or walk on it within a day, but it takes about 28 days approximately, depending on the temperature, before it dries thoroughly. Now here you can see it's starting to turn white, so we know it's drying pretty good. As I said, now there's a little bit of a drop between the inside garage door and that new pad that we put in there, but now you can see how the pad is starting to turn white. So the concrete is starting to dry sufficiently. Okay, so this is what it looks like when it starts to dry a little bit. We're going to close our garage door down, and we're going to make sure we have a nice tight fit underneath there, which we do. Now we had that rubber strip on the bottom. We're going to have to replace that too, because of course the rubber was contoured to the old cement that was in there, or concrete. So we're going to need to replace that rubber strip underneath the bottom of the door, but that'll be a project for tomorrow. All right, that's it. This job is done. I hope you enjoyed it. If you did, give me the thumbs up, and don't forget, subscribe to my channel. As always, thanks for watching, and I'll see you on the next one.